Right, Lyle, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
It's disturbing news. First of all, perhaps you can situate for us where Ondo State is in Nigeria.
So Ondo State is in the southwestern part of the country. It is a relatively peaceful state. It's one of the peaceful states in the country. So this attack on Sunday was something that was really shocking, that shook the whole country.
So, tell us, what's the extent of the loss? We're seeing reports internationally of at least 50 people shot. Has that death toll gone up?
So officially, from the police authorities, we are yet to, get an exact number of those dead and also of those that are injured. But from the people who represent town of Owo, we have Adilegbe Timileyin who says at least 50 people were killed. Then even doctors from the Federal Medical Center and the St. Louis Catholic Hospital, where the bodies were taken to, he said no less than 50 bodies were there. But we have to understand that this figure is not coming from it's not the official figure from the police authorities.
Right. So, let's walk through what is known, what is confirmed. What happened exactly yesterday?
So, according to the PRO of Ondo State, the police PRO of Ondo State, Fumilayo Odulami, she says that at 11:30, they released a statement at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, 5th June 2022. This was while the church service was ongoing at the St. Francis Catholic Church in Owa, Oluwa Street. That's in Owo, Ondo State. During the service, some armed men invaded the church and, attacked the church members, shooting sporadically. Now, according to them, their preliminary investigation revealed that the assailants approached the church during the service and started shooting from outside the church, while others, numbering about four, directly shot into the church. So this is what we know at this time. We also understand that the Christian Association of Nigeria has condemned this attack, and presently, as we speak, they're there praying at the scene, and they've also said they will be embarking on a peaceful protest today.
Now, this is a Catholic church. Are there any theories that the authorities are working with as to why it was targeted?
So the motive is unclear. Like I had said earlier on, it's a shocking event because nobody expects this to have happened in Ondo State. Ondo State is a peaceful state. So the motive is unclear why this Catholic church was targeted.
Was there any warning? Were the authorities on high alert in Ondo State or any other part of the country um, with expectation of the potential of such an attack?
So Nigeria, is facing its fair share of security challenges. Authorities, police authorities, even the army and other security operatives are always, on alert to attacks like this. But it's quite unfortunate that this wasn't emphasized, so to speak. There was no warning. There was no prior alert or something that this would have happened. Nobody expects such a disastrous attack to happen.
The reaction in Ghana to the gory images, and in fact the news in general of what happened, was quite alarming. People are alarmed and concerned about further attacks. How are
So
the people of
it's quite
Nigeria
scary.
responding?
It's quite scary. It's quite scary. Nigerians are shocked, to say the least. Reactions have been going from the president, Muhammadu Buhari, condemning it, the vice president all saying, they are going to fish out the perpetrators of this. The governor of that state, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, has also, vowed to hunt down those church attackers. He's been getting been getting reactions from his counterparts. Also, we have the governors of Kogi, Ekiti. We have the governor of Oyo State, neighboring states, and even faraway states. Help. They are all commiserating with him and saying, they condemn this attack. Reactions from the governors. We've also had reactions from the people themselves. They are sad. They are saddened that this would happen in their, in their own states, in somewhere they've always known to be peaceful and joyous, so to speak. So the reactions have been from far and wide. It's been a terrible, Sunday, and it's spilling over into this new week. It's been very sad and devastating for Nigeria as a whole.
Now, Layo, so while Nigeria as a whole has been reacting and they're saddened by the attack, how about residents of Ondo State, which you say is a very peaceful state? Today, how are the people feeling and what's the mood in the state?
So the mood in the States is very somber. Yesterday, after the attack happened, people were advised to stay in their houses. Even the police had been begging for calm because the youths are quite angry, even though it's a sad thing, a sad day for us all. So it's a somber mood in the States. Activities are down, so to speak. You're not. There's not much going on. Everybody is, in mourning. The families of the victims are in mourning. It's a terrible one.
So, this morning, the morning after, how are the people of Nigeria, both authorities and citizens, reacting to this incident?
So the morning after, like I said, in Owo, their activities are down, but every other place, we are all, saddened by what has happened, and we commiserate with them. Like I said, also, the Christian Association of Nigeria has said they will be embarking on a peaceful protest to make their to make their grievances known, that security should be beefed up in Ondo State and even in the country, in all over the country, because the country has its fair share of security challenges, from kidnappings to these kinds of attacks and all. So there's going to be a peaceful protest by the Christian Association of Nigeria that has also condemned the attack.
Right. I suppose at this point, our thoughts are with our neighbors in Nigeria and, in fact, the families of those who have lost loved ones in this carnage. Thank you so much for this update, Layo.
Thank you very much.
And that's Layo Olarinde, who is speaking from Lagos. She works with Channels TV, partner station. She's a correspondent there. All right, let's try and understand what this means.
Exactly.
We're joined by a security analyst, Dr. Ishmael Norman. Dr. Norman, it's a pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. How are you?
Very well, thanks. I say it's a pleasure, but clearly, I would have preferred us to be talking under better circumstances. This carnage in Nigeria. There are aspects of it that kind of hit close to home. Last week, we heard reports of some suspicious people riding motorbikes in the mountains in the northern parts of Ghana. National security were alerted to this and were, looking into it. Now, people on motorbikes attack a Catholic church in a peaceful southern state of Nigeria. Are there parallels or not?
We definitely have to be mindful of what is happening in our sub-region. This is not the first time bandits have attacked churches in Nigeria. So it's a recurring event. Boko Haram to the northeast and the northwest are banditry activities, but all of them have a connection. And the connection is to basically destroy Christendom. And there are a few of these Muslim oriented people that are doing this. The majority of the Muslims that are not in support of these activities, majority of the moderate Muslims are irrelevant to terrorist attacks by Muslim-oriented groups. So, no matter what we do, because of the random nature of the attacks, you cannot actually prepare for a particular facility defense. You can prepare generally as a nation, a district, or as a region, but you cannot prepare, for example, that Church A is going to be attacked, therefore I'm going to put men there. And it makes this situation very difficult. When you take Ondo State and you realize that it's a peaceful area, northwest, very far away from the activities of Boko Haram, you have to wonder. Don't forget that in 2015, 100 churches in Niger were burned down by people, Muslims, who were upset about what had happened in 2012 in Paris when a news satire magazine basically came out with a caricature of Prophet Muhammad. And that newspaper is called Charlie Hebdo. They made a cartoon 2012, but the terrorists, all the Muslims that were aggrieved by that cartoon, which they should have, actually attacked churches in Niger. That has absolutely nothing to do with what had happened in Paris. I think in this country, we should not ignore the fact that we are just as susceptible to terrorist attack as Nigeria or Togo or anything, any country in the sub-region, because there are many underlying reasons why a group of bandits or terrorists will attack this country. The economic situation is very bad. There are a lot of corruption at the highest level of government. And all of these are annoying, aggravating situations that can make people take the law into their own hands and do bad things.
I mean, we'll get to the underlying conditions, but Dr. Norman, when you talk about preparation and say this is not something you can really prepare for it, I want to understand something. Intelligence gathering is very key under the circumstance. Do I get the impression that we are helpless under the circumstances?
We are to some extent, my brother, because intelligence gathering in Ghana, a study that we did just last year about this time, the outcome was that 85% of Ghanaians that we questioned basically concluded that intelligence gathering in Ghana is concentrated in the big cities. Ghana is a relatively big country. And when you go to the towns, the villages, the hinterland, there is virtually no intelligence gathering going on, or very little is going on. So this is the gap that the terrorists will take advantage of. If ever there was an attack, it probably will not be in a big city. It will start from, some isolated community somewhere, and then make its way gradually into the city. So by the time it gets to a city space, we know that we are out of control.
Now, the national security, which is in charge of intelligence gathering in this country, has representatives throughout the country, not just in the major cities. They are all over the country. And recently we've had reports of people even having to be recalled from the Tema Harbor to be deployed to other parts of the country. Doesn't that in itself give the assurance that, tell us that our intelligence gathering is more than just the cities?
I totally agree. They are doing the best they can, national security. ministry or the staff there. They are doing the best they can, but the ratio of national security operatives to the population or to the communities in every district, we got quite a lot of districts, over 300 of them, and how many persons from national security with ability to actually decode intelligence and collect proper intelligence to each of these districts. So it's a very porous intelligence gathering landscape. And the gap is what the terrorists will take advantage. There is opportunity and there's a willing person that want to do this, and there is no capable guardian to stop them. So the capable guardian will be national security, police, army interventions. So if these elements are not present, then you can see that I believe that the only reason why we've been spared after Togo, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, I'm surmising that the only reason why we've been spared so far is because of the wise decision made by ex-President John Mahama to accept those two Guantanamo Bay prisoners in Ghana. It made Ghana almost like not a supporter of terrorism or terrorists or alleged terrorists, but it made Ghana a very good neighbor to have, even if you are a terrorist. Without that, by now, I should have expected an activity in this country to have happened.
Dr. Norman, what you're saying is that the decision by former President Mahama to accept the two Guantanamo Bay detainees made Ghana a friendly state to terrorists, and that was a wise decision.
In quotes. Kojo,
yeah.
If you think about it, why has Ghana not been attacked? And when I do the deduction, the only conclusion I can come to, because there are a lot of issues that are happening in Ghana that makes Ghana a fertile ground for such activity. Why hasn't it happened? And every single time when I do the calculus, what I come to is that by that decision of ex-President Mahama, it has absorbed Ghana from being maybe enemy of terrorists. I believe that has been one of the most important, not because of our security, not because of our preparedness, but because we show to the world that yes, you may be accused by others as being a terrorist, but you know what? We will receive you as a neighbor. This has been a very good brand that has really protected our country from imminent attack from terrorists.
But we took them in as detainees. They were not allowed to leave the country. They were under the watch of security personnel. We didn't bring them in as heroes.
We took them. We took them, didn't we?
As detainees.
What? Sorry.
I was saying that we took them as detainees. So
yes,
they were
we did.
Detainees in Ghana.
And we did not mistreat them. We did not label them as evil. We received them into this country, and I believe that it will be one of the major mitigating factors that has really helped this country to avoid a confrontation with a terrorist group. Because when you think about it, look, Togo, how far away is Togo to here? How far away is the Ivory Coast to here? How far away is Burkina Faso to here? And we are like an island in the middle, circled by these activities around us, in the nations around us. I believe that has been the shield, that basically the moral shield that has protected and continue to give us some kind of a leeway when it comes to attack, because all the conditions are right for an attack in this country.
could it also be that our preparation is what is preventing these persons from attacking us? Because we've seen what's happening in, Burkina Faso. We've seen what has happened in Togo, and over here in Ghana, there's been some public announcements. And as you would know, sometimes some of these announcements are a way of deterring these persons from attacking your country. Could it also be that the preparation and measures being put in place are what is preventing them from attacking?
It is a variable, definitely. But you see, Nigeria is bigger, richer, and has more military men than Ghana. Togo, a small country as it is, has more military staff, military personnel than Ghana. So if they can, in spite of all that, they can be audacious and attack Togo. If they can be audacious and attack the Ivory Coast, it is not because of our preparedness alone. There must be an X factor. And for me, that X factor is because of how we were kind to receive the Guantanamo Bay detainees.
This is very interesting. It's a fascinating angle you are introducing. So what you're saying is that by entering an agreement with the United States to take some of their prisoners, people unlawfully imprisoned, and continue to imprison them here in Ghana for a period of time. Well, I say imprisoned because they were not allowed to leave. By doing that, it marked Ghana not as a partner to the US, but as an ally to the terrorists?
Not an ally, but you can abstain from accusing like two people fighting Ukraine, Russia. You can abstain from accusing Ukraine or Russia for being the culprit or the person that initiated the fight. By abstaining, you become vicariously a friend. So in this way, I believe that vicariously, by that action, even though we got money for it, it was not the pecuniary interest that or benefit we got that is the most overriding factor, but the humanistic. Remember, the national imam said that on humanitarian grounds, we should allow them and keep them on humanitarian grounds. If you show your humanity to your enemy, the enemy, no matter how evil he plans to hurt you, he will have reconsideration of that purpose.
So if such a decision has resulted in terrorists looking favorably upon Ghana, would that not mean that these two individuals that we took in are actually very high level terrorists in order for their treatment by Ghana to result in such a positive response from terrorists?
In terrorism studies, we have what we call the Islamic narrative. For example, the Islamic narrative is simply that those people that have hurt any Muslim falls within that narrative, and that narrative has to be responded to. We have Black American or African American narrative that if you hurt one African American, you hurt us all. We have the Jewish narrative. So I believe that if you were somebody, this government, a policeman were to mistreat a high-ranking Muslim person in this country, you will see what will happen. So the narrative is the collective consciousness of the people or a group of people that identify with a certain ethos. Muslims identify with a certain ethos that Christians probably don't like them that much and that they only tolerate them. If you go a step further to harm any member of the Muslim community, it is presumed that you have harmed all of them. But let me say this with a caveat. There are moderate Muslims, but when it comes to attack or response to damage to one single Muslim, the moderate Muslims are totally irrelevant. They don't matter.
Now, talking about the Islamic narrative, Dr. Norman, and you can make reference to, Al-Hassan al-Qutub's doctrine, the founder of the Islamic Brotherhood. You can also make reference to Khomeini's suicide bombing this thing. But we have seen in Iraq, for instance, where different groups attack different people. One country, but different groups. Now, in reference to the Islamic narrative, could it also not be that in Ghana, you have a national chief imam who's living peacefully with Christians, a national chief imam who's able to contribute to a national cathedral project, sending a signal that this is a country where Muslims are revered and respected, and hence not the country you need to attack, but not necessarily because of Al-Dubing and his partner?
Yes, it's definitely part of the variables, my brother. But take President Buhari. He's a Muslim, and the Muslims are in control of the government of Nigeria, right? But they see that there is a disconnect between those Muslims in positions of power and the majority of the Muslims that are suffering in Maiduguri region. So they have to attack them. They have to let them understand that we are part of the Muslim religion. We are part of Nigeria. You need to take care of us. That is why I keep referring to the fact that the variables in this country, government does not appear to be sensitive to the needs of the people of Ghana at this particular time. Government seems to be interested in what it can get. And we have seen a lot of land grabbing, a lot of stealing, a lot of theft at high level of government, and special prosecutor seems to be encapsulated in a political dilemma and doesn't know what to do, even though he pretends to be doing something. So we have a situation where majority of Ghanaians, whether they are MPP or NDC, are not happy. We have also seen that there was also land grabbing during the NDC time. So if government, whether it's NDC or MPP, are only interested in what they can steal, what they can take from this country, then it creates a very compelling reason why people should stop being patriotic and go after destruction of the country. Because terrorism is also a kind of political movement where they are fighting for change. So why don't we destroy the country and rebuild it? We need to be careful. Central government needs to be careful. Central government needs to be, you cannot say you're going to fight, you're going to protect the public purse, and then ensure that there is so much corruption that nobody ever gets prosecuted. Whatever national security is doing is good. Whatever Honorable Kandapa and his team are doing is good. But that alone is not enough. Whatever Ghana police is doing is good. Immigration, all of them, and citizens are doing, they are all good. But it's not enough. Because when you aggrieve a certain group of people, over time you give them the reason to overreact. And that overreacting could end up being a lone wolf going to a church or a mosque and blowing up the people because they are angry.
Right. If you just joined us, we're talking to Dr. Ishmael Norman. Of course, he's a security analyst, and he's theorizing about perhaps what might have been the cause of the shooting in Nigeria, and how and why actually Ghana has been spared so far any such attack. When we come back, we'll look into the future. We'll try and figure out what we need to do to remain safe. We'll explore the Islamist theory a little bit further. And more importantly, what do you and I have to do? What do you and I have to do to ensure that chances of such a thing happening here are reduced or removed if possible? All of that after these.
The feeling of being the champion of the famous childhood game, Pilolo, is like knowing a secret that no one knows and using it to your advantage. That is the feeling of being on Ghana's favorite network and getting your money's worth. With Airtel Tigo, you can get exciting tailor-made products and services that work for you. Dial *111#, select option 1 for big-time data to enjoy data that doesn't expire, and option 4 for Sika Koko to enjoy huge data at little cost.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Bra
Kweku, can you fix the gas for me? It's leaking.
Oh, this one simple crowd. Just carry the stone for floor, give me, make a take put stop. You see, say stop.
Wow, but what if the stone falls down?
Taking risks with your gas cylinder is taking risks with your safety. Get serious quality with Sigma cylinders. Visit sigmaghana.com or visit our showroom in Accra, Opera Square, North Industrial Area, and Pagan Road. And in Kumasi, or call us on 0593 833 332 and find out more about our high quality gas cylinders made right here in Ghana. Sigma cylinders, exceptional cylinders for exceptional energy.
My first sin was sneaking into the fridge to sip on some Ideal milk.
My first telephone was 2 empty tins of Ideal milk connected by a long string.
My first taste of freedom was when I had 1 full tin of Ideal to myself in SH.
Make more beautiful memories with Ideal milk as we celebrate our 50th anniversary. You can win a brand new car and other exciting prizes when you text the special code behind each Ideal original anniversary label. The more you buy and text, the better your chances. This advert is FDA approved.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, Mr. Lawson. So what is this?
I'm checking my money.
For what?
It's getting to the end of the month. I'm going to pay my rent.
You haven't heard of rent to own?
Rent to own?
Well, under the Planned City Extension project, they offer you a whopping discount for this month of May. But listen, you pay just 20% of the property and it's all yours. 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom houses. Plus, they are even developing beachfront house. Mr. Lawson, reach them on www.newaccra.city or call 05555 30300 0577 9111 01 or 055 7054 635. Planned City Extension Project, shaping Ghana's urban future.
I'm moving into my
you better.
The FIFA World Cup only comes around every 4 years, and we are here for every bit of it. Every goal.
This is spectacular.
Every cheer.
This is absolutely wonderful.
Every tear, every upset, and every bit of glory. Catch every one of the 64 games from the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 live in HD on Supersport on DSTV. Here for every fan.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. If you just joined us, we've started a very important conversation. Our guest, Dr. Ishmael Norman, security analyst, talking about the attack in Nigeria. And he makes 2 important points. First, he suggests that, intelligence gathering outside the major cities of Accra is almost non-existent. He says it's porous and it does not actually provide us with enough information for us to be able to forestall and plan for such attacks. He then makes the interesting theory that perhaps the reason why we have been spared thus far by attacks from sub-regional Islamist terror elements is because John Mahama made what he calls the good decision to bring in the 2 Guantanamo Bay detainees. That somehow that has, if you will, endeared us to Islamist elements in the sub-region. And for that reason, they have not attacked us. We'll be exploring these theories further and looking into the future as to what you and I can do to reduce the chances of such a thing ever happening here in Ghana. That's all to come on the Super Morning Show. And thanks for all your text messages that are coming through. They are sponsored on the Super Morning Show by the Glycocritical Illness Plan, GSIP. It's in your best interest to survive.
And at GlycoLife, believe this is the time to protect your future with our life insurance policies. Our products are designed to offer you peace of mind, especially in this COVID-19 era. And to our policyholders, your claims are very important to us, and we advise you to visit our offices or the GlycoLife website, glycolife.com, to lodge your claims for prompt service. So please pay your premiums via your chosen mode of payment or by Momo on 0591 441 473 or by e-premium for micro insurance to safeguard your policies. Now, our call center team is ready to support you, so call us on 0202 222 113 for assistance or contact us via our digital channels. Please practice social distance and keep safe, and trust GlycoLife to cushion you for life.
Now, when creating memories with those you love, dining at your favorite spot, or ordering your favorite meal online, make it MasterCard. When streaming an album or watching an artist at an unforgettable live show, make it MasterCard. When doing your usual supermarket run or your weekly visit at the barber's or salon, make that switch to MasterCard with all your payments. The safe and convenient way to pay. That's MasterCard.
So if money wasn't a factor, how would you like to run your business? Picture it now and start being efficient with a total business solution provider that makes business so simple, with a wide range of services such as a dedicated internet, mobile services, data co-location, among others. Whichever business you run, whatever solution your business needs, Airtel Tigo Business will provide tailor-made solutions for your business. So what are you waiting for? Call us on 0577 555 000. Send an email to business@airteltigo.com.gh for flexible total solutions for your business. Airtel Tigo Business, making business simple.
With MTN and Mkopa Device Finance, you can now buy a sleek and trendy smartphone and enjoy the luxury of paying in amazing, easy, daily, weekly, or monthly installment plans. All you have to do is walk into any of MTN's service centers across Accra Central, Achimota, Dansuman, Madina, Tudu, and Circle to choose your favorite from a wide range of mobile phones on offer. The best part is all phones come with 2 gigabytes of free data, so you can share your pictures and get all the biggest scoops online for the first 6 months after purchase. Go on, share the exciting news with your family and friends. Okay, let's get back to our conversation. Our guest is Dr. Ishmael Norman. Dr. Norman, thank you for staying with us. Now,
you're welcome.
Before the break, we were talking about how Ghana is situated when it comes to these attacks by Islamist elements across the sub-region. Very interesting theory that you're sharing there about the role that the Guantanamo Bay 2 must be playing in all of this. Now, you talked about how the Islamist terror element tends to look upon any positive treatment of Muslims as a good sign and negative treatment as a bad sign. Now, we've seen attacks in Togo recently and other West African countries. Can we point to any specific anti-Islamist actions that may have occurred in these countries to have triggered those attacks?
Okay. In Togo, you know the political history of Togo. One single family has been in power for far too long and denies every
repositioning yourself. We were struggling to hear you. I think the signal is not great. Is it possible to reposition yourself a bit for a stronger signal? Right. Dr. Norman, please go ahead.
Yeah. So we have a situation where majority of the people don't feel they are included in the government. There is no inclusivity. Terrorists try to take advantage of places where there is disaffection, where there is exclusionary kind of government and governance system. And Togo is an example of a nation where not everybody is equal, and only the family of Yadima are most important. So, by all means, this will also, Yadima's family is Christian, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, how many of the Muslims population are in that government in Togo. Foye Gazemi has basically followed the footsteps, I hope I'm mentioning his last name properly, has followed the footsteps of his father. So there are a lot of grievances. You look into the countries that have suffered coup d'etat, I am happy that they had a coup, because otherwise they could have been, the government system could have been adapted, the terrorists could have infiltrated these countries and made Guinea, Gambia very, very ungovernable, Mali. So sometimes when these things happen, you have to put it in a context. We are going in a direction in this country. Look at the recent MPP party official election. Look at the amount of money that is involved before you become a party official. Do you think this is the way we should go? Definitely not. I'm just giving this as an example. But these are some of the things we do in this country that will create or helps to create the justification for all kinds of elements to bind together and bring in the terrorists. Boko Haram is just a phone call away to come help them to cause change. So we need to be mindful. Government needs to be mindful. The political parties need to be mindful that in the modern era, power is in the hands of the individual. I am quoting Kofi Annan when he was UN General Secretary. It looks like our government, our leaders in this country tend to forget that power actually is in the hands of one individual. So if we don't manage our affairs well, then you create the ennobling environment, the ecosystem for people to be disgruntled, and then getting the terrorists involved. The banditry is different from the terrorist activities. The bandits are just ordinary criminals organizing themselves on motorcycles, making an incursion into the country when they see the situation is weak, and then going to steal and going away. They are robbers. But the terrorists, they destroy, they take, they plunder, and they kill.
Now, Dr. Norman, those who performed the attack yesterday in Nigeria have not yet identified themselves. As an analyst, what is your cause to believe that it was these Muslim groups, Islamist groups, that conducted the attack?
The bandits don't go after churches that don't have money. Only terrorists go after churches as a message to the rest of the world. And this has been happening, Boko Haram, led by Boko Haram, it has been happening since 2011. 2015, 2015, almost, and 2020, almost a year to the day of yesterday's attack, was an attack on a church in Plateau State where 32 people or so were killed. That was undertaken by Boko Haram, not by bandits. Bandits do not, as a general rule, they attack for money, but they don't attack just to kill people. So this is definitely what happened yesterday was an activity carried out by terrorists, Islamic terrorists, jihadist terrorists.
Okay. Let's come back to Ghana. Now, you paint a rather disturbing picture when you talk about the almost non-existent intelligence gathering capabilities outside Accra and the major cities of Ghana. Now, it occurs to me that intelligence gathering doesn't necessarily require personnel of national security, but they can cultivate assets in these communities who will be feeding them with regular intel. Are you saying that even that lies beyond the capability of Ghana's national security?
Yes. My problem is this. When you have so many people calling in, see something, say something, and they are reporting what they have seen, without telling them the parameters within which they should be calling 999, you're going to be flooded. We don't have the algorithms, computer-based machine learning, machine identification of what is a threat and what is not a threat. We don't have that. Not even the cybersecurity office can do all this analysis for national security. We don't have that. So if we don't have drones that can do the eavesdropping, that can capture pictures and activities, we don't have that. So when you are talking about preparedness, it's not only about hoping that you are prepared. There has to be supported by technology. In the modern world, fighting any enemy needs technology. And I don't believe our government has been bold enough to make money available to national security, to have the equipment to be able to, for example, buy state-of-the-art powerful computers that can really do the algorithmically analyze messages that are coming to them. I don't believe they can do that. And I don't believe that we have drones that eavesdrop on the population. We need to spy on our own population because the terrorists are amongst us. And if we don't spy on the population, we will not be able to isolate the terrorists from the population.
Is that not against
I
our
don't
laws?
believe that Nana Akufo-Addo's government has given either the military or the Navy or national security enough money. Parliament has not done it for enough money. Come on, how many fighter jets do we have in Ghana as an Air Force? What seaworthy ship do we have for the Ghana Navy? What do we have? When terrorists in a boat in a ship turn off their transponder, how can we identify them? What are the drones that are overseeing the sea waves and the airwaves to show that enemy is within our midst? We don't have that capacity. It's just blocking that oftentimes we hear going on that we are ready. If the terrorists is just coming to attack a police post, the police is never ready.
Dr. Norman, you talked about how we need to spy on our own population. That's against our laws, isn't it?
It's not. It's never against the laws of a sovereign country to survey its own citizens. Never against.
Well, you need a court order according to the laws in Ghana. You need a court order before
So let's get it.
Yes. So what you're saying would be illegal.
No, you have to follow the due process. What would be illegal about it if you follow due process?
Right, and due process means you have to prove in a court of law that there is probable cause to eavesdrop on someone.
Yes.
So that would not be just spying on our own population. That would be spying on suspects.
Look, if you are collecting intelligence, a certain amount of espionage is involved in intelligence gathering. And National Security Strategy 2020 and Act 1030 also allows us to collect intelligence. How do you do that without a little bit of espionage going on? Come on. We are not kids. We know that they do. They just want to make it appear as if they are observing the rule of law, which often is not being observed in this country.
Agree that it would. They are breaking the law by doing this.
Yes.
Okay. Let's now talk about what Ghana needs to be doing to reduce the potential of such threats. You talked about how, in your estimation, the move with the Guantanamo Bay 2 has somehow put us in the good books of terrorists. But what about things like what happened in the north just last week when a Muslim community flogged 2 citizens for doing something that they believe is against Islam, which is recording themselves having sex, and the police clamped down on this community. Members of that community are currently in custody and being tried in court. How will such a thing play out to terrorists who are observing us?
We are not under Sharia law. And so you have to go with the legal system that we have. whether you're a Muslim or you're a Christian. So what those people did by flogging the two lovers was totally against our laws. So the punishment should be appropriate to the crime. Right. Sometimes our police is not able to measure itself to deliver appropriate punishment to specific crimes. Sometimes they go overboard. It is the going overboard that we need to guide against. There is not a single Muslim in this country who will take offense at flogging, who will not take offense at flogging a couple in public under the current dispensation of laws in this country. There's not a single Muslim. You ask any Muslim lawyers, and they will tell you that that is against the laws of Ghana. We are not operating under Sharia law. Under Sharia law, that would have been a perfect punishment. But even that, you have to go through due process before you can then punishment will be meted out to the culprit. So that is how, and even within Sharia law, they couldn't have tried the couple and then and flog them. But what I think going forward, the police should do is that they sometimes overreact when there are incidents like this because they want to score public points, moral points. But they have to watch that because according to National Security United States, they have found that in most cases, the youth are attracted to violent extremism after negative encounters with security forces. What happened in the flooding case is not a negative encounter. We cannot allow people to make their own calls and implement and dole out justice as they see it. So that was totally correct. But there are also cases, I don't want to refer to them because we all know them, that the police have gone overboard or even soldiers have gone overboard and reacted in a way that was unbecoming of officers.
Now, Dr. Norman, I mean, let's look at one thing. So we know that for some of these persons who would attack, and let's just call them terrorists, without adding their religious inclinations, but these terrorists normally see their actions as an insurgency. To them, they believe they are reversing some asymmetrical relationship in a society. Now, we know also that one of the best counterinsurgency tactics is to look at what they are promising and doing that to prevent them from being successful. In Ghana, what should we do to prevent any form of attack in the country?
I think the honors of this question really falls on Nana Akufo-Addo's government currently, or anyone that was president in Ghana right now. And right now it's Nana Akufo-Addo. There are too many unemployed youth in this country. Come June, July, August, November, at least 350,000 graduates would have been added to the overwhelming unemployed graduates that we have in Ghana right now. So the situation is very tenuous, and the government has to do well, not lip service, but really create meaningful jobs. And that we don't see coming. All we see is corruption after corruption after corruption, day after day. That is not good.
Now, to wrap up, you pointed earlier to what you see as a lack of technology in our intelligence and security setup. But it occurs to me that over the years, all the way back in 2001 when 9/11 happened, 90% of the technology used in surveillance and national security by the United States had not even been invented by then. But somehow they managed to respond to the threat and made their countries more secure. Are we completely devoid of options if we don't yet have the level of technology that you are calling for with the drones and all of the things that make it easier? Are we completely devoid of options? What can we do with what we have?
We have options. And I'm happy that Honorable Kandapa, National Security, is now engaging the public, giving advisory warning about terror events. I'm very happy about that. In the past, they operated as silos. Ghana police operate as silos. It doesn't really engage people that may know or may not even know. But Ghana police doesn't know what it doesn't know, but it doesn't know. So if you presume that there are many things that are there that you don't know, you need to engage all kinds of people, and national security is trying it, but it's not going about it the way that it should. So I think that even on relying on the human capital, there is a lot of intelligence that can be gathered. And you can create a district analyzing group that when the intelligence comes before it sends to Accra, they will sit and analyze whatever it is that they are getting. There are so many young men and women in this country with degrees in statistics and mathematics and calculus who are sitting there, they don't even have good jobs. These are people you need. There are so many political graduates with political science degrees, social science degrees. Get these people, create hubs in every district. Let them collect the intelligence there. Show them how to go about it. And let them then sieve out all the chaff and send you the big bulletized issues for you to look at. And we also need to train people who are gathering intelligence about profiling. I don't see national security doing it. Sometimes they operate as if they are all inclusive, all government, but for most part, 80% of the time, they operate as silos. They need to open it up. They need to conduct studies to see what is happening. We approach national security to finance a study. We can't even get them to respond to a phone call. Meanwhile, the first study we collected, the data we collect, we shared it with them. They have it all. We even made presentations to them. I'm sorry, I have to say this publicly, but I am not one of those people, or the people I work with, they are not one of those people that just talk. We try to do something. And you see, so when you operate as a silo, because that's exactly why information doesn't flow from one angle to another angle. You need everybody on board, and you need strategic partners. But I don't think national security is doing it the way it should be done.
Dr. Ishmael Norman, I want to thank you for your time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
What do you work?
All right, there's more to come. Stay with us.
From now till August 2022, Litina Travel and Tours is giving you the opportunity to make this summer the most memorable time for you and your family. Walk into any UMB branch or call Litina Travel and Tours to find out how you too can present your family with an unforgettable experience at Disneyland Paris. It's open to everyone looking to have an amazing experience this summer. It's $3,600 for adults and $2,990 for children. 8% off early bird discount available. It includes flight, 8-day stay in Paris, a boat trip on the Seine River, visit to the Eiffel Tower, Champs-Elysees, the monuments, and many more. Visit the nearest UMB branch or call Litina Travel and Tours on 050-565-7821 or ask Sika, the UMB virtual assistant, WhatsApp at 0266 020 400 or at www.myumb Bank for more information today.
Nana Kwame, come and visit me.
Hey, Akosia, that's your house. I don't want to come there again. Oh. Grandma be what?
And that's for that my Fiera. Hey. Oluma with grey hair who like the nice young ones. Oh, you to come and let's do some salad.
Okay. I will bring some kelewele so we can chop once we enjoy our eyes.
Tilfiasem, enjoy real local drama on the new channel Akwaba Magic Ebusia on Go TV. This is your new home of local content and more. Chawiniso, Go TV, love it.
Fellow Ghanaians, kindly join us this Wednesday 8th to Friday 10th June for the Water and Construction Exhibition and Seminar Program at the Accra International Conference Center. It will be officially opened by Honorable Cecilia Dapa, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. The Exhibition and Seminar Program, or CPD course, is free to attend. To register, visit www.aceevents.com or register at AICC on Wednesday morning from 9:30 a.m. See you soon. For more information, call 0556 304 521.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM. Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy, and boy, Dr. Ishmael Norman making some very interesting statements there. We'll touch on those briefly and read some of your tweets as well. But let me ask you: are you looking to buy a new car? There's only one place. Allianz Life has partnered with CFAO Motors to bring you Auto Life. It's a 5-year life insurance cover on any vehicle purchased from CFAO, equivalent to the price of the vehicle. Walk into any CFAO showroom across the country for more information, or call CFAO on 0308 249 090. Alternatively, just call Allianz Life on 0302 267 892 for more information. Allianz Life, we secure your future.
And having your baby try out different tastes and flavors isn't just about giving them a change of taste. Now this helps to develop their palate and prepare them better for accepting varieties of adult food as they grow. So go ahead and try any of our 6 Cerelac variants. That's wheat, maize, rice, biscuity, fruit pieces and millet. Remember, each bowl of Cerelac contains goodness that helps your child's normal growth and development. Cerelac, it's all good now.